Okay, I think we're starting now. Anybody here? Oh, hey, Layla. Good to see you. Thanks a lot for your help. Without your help, I don't think I would have been able to get this working. So, how's the volume sound? Anyway, I'm going to just go ahead and get started here. It's been a minute since I've done one of these live streams. I'm really excited to get back into it and try out some new stuff with you guys. So, yeah, just welcome, settle in, feel free to ask questions in the chat. And I'm just going to get started sculpting here. So what I'm going to do is I'm sculpting a character. It's a surprise mystery character. So what I want everybody to do is to guess who it is that I'm sculpting. And I guess just a hint, it is a real person. Hey, Earl Decay. So yeah, it's a real person. It is a character from a live action show or movie. And if you are the first one to guess who either the actor or the character is, you win a free copy of my plugin Ryan's Tools. It's a Gumroad. You can buy it on Gumroad for $20, but you'll get the pro version for free if you're the first person to guess who the character or actor is. So I'm just going to start sculpting in. I've got my reference images up on my other monitors. And so, yeah, I'm just going to just start pushing pixels around. How's everybody doing? Everybody getting excited for summer, if you live in the northern hemisphere, that is. It's been a while since I've done a caricature, so I'm like a little bit nervous, but I think this is going to turn out all right. I was originally going to do a cartoony character for today's live stream, but the last minute I was like, you know what, I'm going to do this other character instead. And it's a caricature, so proportions are going to be crazy. Yeah, I haven't done a live stream in, whew, I don't know, it feels like a year maybe. I don't know. It's been a while. Unfortunately, I can't show you the ref because that would give away who the actor and character is. So it's a surprise. Well, it's sort of a contest, right? If you can guess who it is correctly, I'll give you a free copy of my plugin Ryan's Tools. And it's a caricature, so that might make it easier to guess. I don't know, it might kind of exaggerate things. But yeah, I love doing caricatures. Just haven't done a lot of them recently, but I'm really excited to get back into one and kind of really push it farther than I've ever pushed a caricature before, you know? Really gonna go full Star Trek on this one. I'm gonna do the hair. I'm gonna get started on the hair because the hair is actually such an integral part of this character's look. Might even be able to start guessing it now at this point. Hey Romanos, how's it going? Glad you could join us. Anyway, so whoever's just joining us, we're doing a little competition here. Whoever can guess the character, either the character or the actor first wins a copy of my plugin Ryan's Tools for free. $20 value. So don't delay. Act today. Hey, Visual Ether. Is Ryan Tools update still not working? Yes, I'm still waiting on Zbrush folks to fix stuff with it. Yeah, there is a glitch with Zbrush, which makes it so that I can't publish my latest version of my plugin. The previous version is still available, it's still great, but the new one cannot be distributed until they fix something with how plugins get compiled. So I'm just waiting on that, and then when that's done, um, the the plugin will be available for everyone to download. So I'm really excited for that to be done because I've got some really cool stuff in the new version. Of course, you can get the previous version now; it's still available. And then when the new version is actually released, You can just download that for free. It's not like you have to pay again, so no reason to wait. How's it going, Chris Wolf? Um, Cillian Murphy. I could kind of see that. Yes, it is not Cillian Murphy though. I could see why you would think that. Hey, Raphael. Yeah, I've started about, I don't know, it's like 10 years ago. I started writing this plugin and just, a bunch of tips and tricks and cool little things to help make ZBrush work better. And I've been, keeping it updated since then. And I'm really excited to keep, making more. But unfortunately, I can't do it until they fix a glitch with ZBrush. So, yeah, I'm just holding my breath, waiting for that day to come when I can release the next version. Yeah, Chris Wolf. The idea is to guess who the actor or character is, and then you'll win a copy of Ryan's Tools. The dude everybody does impressions of. No, it is not Donald Trump. I don't know. Maybe I mean I don't pay a lot of attention to popular media anymore. I just kind of like I disappeared off of social media, and I don't really like go on YouTube or Instagram or anything like that. So don't really know who's doing impressions of who lately, but Theodore from Her. Is that the main character from Her? I did watch the movie when it first came out, but it's been a while. Um, the thumbnail of my live stream is Edgar Allan Poe. Do I program in other languages? Nope. And I'm probably never going to start learning a programming language now that AI can program for you. Um, oh, Chris Wolf, you're actually really close. Christopher Walken is in the show that this character is from, but is not Christopher Walken. And Michael Coldy wins with Adam Scott. It was definitely the chin fold that did it for you, didn't it? So Chris Wolf, you win a free copy of Ryan's Tools. Congratulations. I'm going to type in my email address in the chat and just go ahead and send me a an email, and then I'll get you a code for um, the free Ryan's Tools. So yeah, it's Adam Scott or the character of Mark from Severance. That's who I'm sculpting. So maybe I'll just pull up the reference really quick. So this is who I'm doing. Adam Scott, Severance. Yeah, congratulations, Michael Coldy. Hey, Steamworks TC, good to see you again. Oh yeah, yes. I watched the first season last year, and I just couldn't wait till the next season came out. And I'm about halfway through season two, so no spoilers. If anybody's seen the rest of it, please, no spoilers. It's a super weird, surreal show. If you guys haven't started watching it, if you like weird TV, surreal stuff that doesn't necessarily make sense. I mean, I'm hoping it'll make sense eventually by the end, but right now it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, which is fine. I like that weird stuff that doesn't make sense. So even if it doesn't end up making sense, it's like really engaging to watch. So I'm enjoying it. This guy's got such a unique cheekbone structure. It's so pronounced. He's got like this high cheekbone, and he's got this other thing pretty pronounced right here. Nasolabial fold, and he's got the zygomatic arch pretty well pronounced too. Yeah, there is something about like people who get chosen to be actors. They have kind of unique, extreme faces a lot of the times. Kurt Russell. Yeah, I can see that a little bit. Zbrush use more RAM or VRAM? It uses RAM because it does not use your graphics card. Unless you've got the Redshift set to GPU rendering, ZBrush is never even touching your GPU. So it is all RAM. Yeah, the hairdo made you guess the actor. Oh, yep. Yeah, I mean it's an unusual hairstyle for these days, but the show seems like it's kind of set in some sort of weird like 80s, late 70s, early 80s alternate universe or something where this hairstyle was more common. So that's what's the actor that doesn't have any lips? Yeah, I was just kind of you're right. You called me out. I feel very called out. I was delaying on the lips because he's got funky, weird lips that I didn't want to deal with quite yet. But I've been following all the things that have been happening with AI lately. As you guys know, I'm obsessed with AI, and it's getting pretty freaky, like what you can do. Not gonna lie, I'm getting a little worried. Let's see. Probably need to leave more room for his mouth, honestly. Actually, I'm gonna do this a different way. City Slickers. You know, I've never seen that movie. Is that the one with Billy Crystal from the is it early 90s? All right, let's try to get these lips in here. Jack Palance. Yeah, I could see a little bit of Jack Palance in that. No, yeah, it was Jack Palance in City Slickers, I think. Because this guy, I feel like he's about my age, maybe a little bit older. I was like 12 years old when City Slickers came out, so I don't think it would have been this guy. His mouth is quite asymmetrical, which is it's going to be a bit of work, to finish that off, but I'm just going to kind of put it in placeholder anatomy for the moment and then kind of go in more attention to detail a little bit later. Just didn't want the mouth to be completely left off of this thing. Hey, thanks, Arch Design. Yeah, it's just those, just random ideas that come to you while you're sculpting, and you're just like, oh yeah, I should do that more often. Yeah, Alan Howard. I like Edgar Allan Poe's poetry. You know what? I honestly I really don't like poetry in general. It just instantly puts me to sleep. Um, I think I have. Uh, I don't know if I've read his poetry. I've read some of his short stories. They're quite good. What is it? The Creeping Death or something like that. That one's really good. Um, Telltale Heart. I don't know that I've read his poetry. Yeah, I think I want to make his nose a little smaller too, because it's gonna be hard to get that nasal labial fold to look good going from a big nose down to a small mouth. Yeah, yeah, there we go. That looks good. Should I check out Edgar Allan Poe's poetry? Is it not gonna put me to sleep? So I'm starting I don't know if podcast is the right word, but I'm starting a series of YouTube video conversation pieces, sort of long form conversation series about AI and creativity. I haven't published any of them yet. I've got three recorded. I'm still trying to come up with a name for it, and I'm trying to get some more people lined up to be guests on it. But it's kind of like a little side project of mine, because I'm really fascinated by AI, but also especially how it intersects with creativity. Um, and I'm not a fan of how a lot of AI is being done these days, like stealing artists' work and stuff like that. But I think there are a lot of potentials for really good things to happen, and I think there's a lot of dangers and potentials for bad things to happen. And so, like, something I want to explore with the series is, like, what are people thinking about it? What kind of pitfalls can we identify? Like, how do we keep it from being used for evil instead of good? So, um, hopefully, relatively soon, we'll get to see some. Well, it looks like Paul McCartney now. Gotta change those eyes. Yeah, hopefully soon I'll get some title graphics and a title for it, and you know really make it nice and polished and publish some of those episodes. So that's my project, kind of side project I'm working on right now. What kind of stuff do you guys do outside of ZBrush and sculpting? More bad than good on the AI. Yeah, I think there's like a 10% chance it's actually going to destroy humanity. So, not good. But I think there is also a chance, probably about it, maybe also a 10% chance that it results in kind of like a Star Trek future, which would be really, really cool. But I'm not holding my breath for that one. Mounts and displays for museum pieces. That's pretty cool, actually. I've always thought that would be a fun job to do, like making dioramas and stuff and getting paid for it. Yeah, sign me up. The Creator. I have not seen that. That sounds like exactly the kind of movie I like. I'll have to check that out. Is it on Netflix or something? One of the things I really like about caricature is like if somebody has some sort of feature that's kind of exaggerated, like this guy's chin, right? It's sort of like what's fun to do is like imagine that like if it's jutting forward, that there was some sort of like physical process that like forced it forward, and then what sort of effect would that have on the surrounding anatomy, and sort of like imagining that like his chin was some sort of growth that just like spurted up overnight and just like kind of created this little swirl. Oops, that's not right. Just have to do this a more manual way. I'm trying to like make it too fancy. Hey Ash Bash. The person I'm sculpting, it was actually a competition to see who could guess first, but it has already been guessed. So unfortunately, I'll just give it away right now. It is Adam Scott, the actor who plays Mark from Severance. Oh, that's cool. Comics legend. I'll definitely have to check it out now. So, interesting thing about this character, this actor, this character from Severance. Um, the title sequence, it's like a digital double of Adam Scott, the title for Severance, and my good friend Scott Denton, who's been a guest on this very live stream, worked on the 3D model for the live sequence. Like they took a 3D scan of him and cleaned it up, got an animation ready. So, Chris Wolf, an interesting point. You think AI is going to weed out a lot of mediocre artists? You know, that's interesting. I think what AI might even do is it might sort of redefine what it means to be an artist, and what it means to be a good artist or bad artist, because I think there's no artist in the world that will be able to compete with AI, at least in terms of like the the technical aspects, like doing things like composition, which wasn't even that much of a technical task in the past, or like color theory or perspective, details, anatomy. Um, AI is going to just excel at all of that, and so that all that's really left is just like expressing your own sort of emotions through art, because AI, of course, the only thing it'll never be able to do is like feel emotions for you. And so maybe we will stop um, prioritizing and valuing the technical ability, like, how well you got the anatomy done and things like that. And we'll just focus then on like, you know, did you express your emotions? It'll be like, finger painting in kindergarten all over again. It's like the best, like nobody cares how nice your drawing is in kindergarten. They care if you were, just engaged with the task, and um you as long as you did something, the teacher's like, yeah, isn't that great? And maybe that will be what art is in the future. And everybody's gonna be making art, so it kind of doesn't even matter if how good it is, objectively speaking. Because there's gonna be so much art that you won't even have time to care about art unless it's made by somebody you know personally. And if it's somebody you know personally, then it's kind of like, oh, I want to know like what they were feeling emotionally last Thursday. Oh, and I see it in their art. Isn't that cool? And we won't even care, if the anatomy is correct. Something I've been thinking about. Yeah, best art at its core comes from human emotion, and I mean AI is at best only ever going to be a simulation of that. And like, why rely on a simulation when we have the real deal right here with us all the time? Which is like with going back to like the AI art and like just finger painting in kindergarten. It does put me in a weird spot where I've like spent so much time, learning software, learning anatomy, learning, how to make a nice picture that that it does sort of make me feel like a little bummed out by the fact that those skills are no longer going to be special. But at the same time, like if everybody is has like all this banks on the hope that we get universal basic income, really. But if we do get universal basic income thanks to AI, then that's gonna be a huge game changer. And now people will be free to, actually spend their day finger painting like they did in kindergarten. And wouldn't that be nice? I'd rather do that. Yeah, that's true. Comics legend. There's the ability to feed your own style into the AI so it can copy it. Um, which is interesting. If you're making like production art for a commercial project, I feel like that makes a lot of sense. But if you're making your own personal art, it's like doing it yourself is like the whole freaking point. If you let a computer do that for you, it's like, why are you even making your art? Yeah, I totally agree, Comics Legend, about like looking up for reference and like everything you find online is going to be generated by AI. And so it's like, then again, it's going to be like, okay, go outside, see what nature is actually doing, or like forget about reference at all, do what Salvador Dali did was just kind of paint from imagination, and it's okay if it looks a little wonky. Yeah, glad you guys are learning stuff and enjoying this Ash Bash and Dope Pope. Oh, hey, Dope Pope, great to see you here. AI might soon be a better sculptor than I am. Not that I'm like such a great sculptor or anything. I'm like okay, but I'd probably still sculpt because I enjoy it. Even if I know that my sculpture will never compare to how good an AI sculpture might be, I'd probably still want to do it. sort of by hand the old-fashioned way because I just find this to be like enjoyable, it's relaxing. It's kind of like Bob Ross, you know? You just get into the flow of it and you stop worrying about whether it's perfect or not and you just kind of do what you can do. And it's really nice activity to do. It's relaxing, you know, if you can stop from stressing out about it. All right, I better save this so that ZBrush crashes or something. I can always come back to it. Yeah, the way um, LLMs have been writing lately, in just the past month, like, is such a step up from where they were just a couple months ago. Like the writing, you could always just tell it was AI generated because it just felt kind of plasticky, and and it's still you can kind of tell when it's AI generated. It's it's still not quite perfect, but it's harder to tell, and the writing uh, has much more of an organic feel, like it was actually written by a person. Yeah, Dope Pope, I agree about the fine line between help the AI helping you with some of the tedious stuff and it doing too much for you. And I feel like that's kind of been a thing for a while with, a lot of the fancy gadgets and gizmos and ZBrush that kind of like are supposed to do a lot of this stuff for you, is that I find that, it does it, but it usually does it in a kind of very inorganic way. And if you want something with any nuance and variation and organic believability, it's in order to kind of put that back into it, you have to, it's almost more work than if you just sculpted it messily from scratch in the first place. Huh. Yeah, I hadn't heard about that Tom Robbins AI motivational app, but I could totally see something like a therapist or a life coach just being an AI app. Um, and it is actually kind of one of the nice things about AI, at least most of them, for now anyway. They they speak with a great deal of like respect. They talk like a really kind of a mature, rational person talks. Like somebody they don't get upset, right? Like if you disagree with them or something, they don't call you names and they like treat your opinions with respect, even if your opinions are wrong, your beliefs are wrong. If you have like wrong facts or something, like a human might be like, you know, make fun of you or just be sarcastic or something back, but the AI is always like reacts with a very mature and balanced adult, which is kind of nice because I think that if you want to like discuss ideas with a person online, you're not always going to get that guarantee. So it might be beneficial for humanity to just kind of like have have a conversation buddy that models good communication. What's annoying, Chris Wolf? Oh wait, yeah, I agree, Dope Pope. It's getting to the point with AI video, particularly, that I'm really afraid that the entire VFX pipeline is going to be somersaulted completely, and that's scary because that can be replaced. Um, which I'm not 100% against. I think that if an individual like creator, right, someone who has a creative vision and they want to create something and they don't want to go through the whole studio process and funding and producers and all that stuff, like it'd be nice to skip that part and just make your own stuff without having to pay millions of dollars to a production studio. But if companies like Disney then just make their movies with AI when they could hire professionals like they've been doing. Um, Not that they've been such a great example of like how to treat their employees, but at least they have employees for now. They end up replacing their employees with AI. I mean, I will never go see a movie made by a big budget studio that used AI instead of hiring artists. Like that's an absolute hardline boycott for me. I hope it would be for a lot of people, but that's just me. Oh yeah, Chris Wolf, overly agreeable. I agree. That is annoying. Sometimes I want the AI to just kind of give it to me straight, and it's too quick to just agree with me. I agree. I would like to have an AI that challenges my thinking, as annoying as that can be sometimes. Like I just, everybody thinks they're right, but it would be nice to have an AI that can point out maybe ways in which you're not totally right in a way that's psychologically digestible, because we all know what it's like to have someone point out that we're not right online in a way that's not psychologically digestible. Yeah, the line between being able to tell if something is AI generated or not is just getting really hard to distinguish sometimes. I mean, I think with the video, it's usually kind of floaty, kind of like low quality animation is kind of floaty, like kind of a beginner animation student will often make animation that looks kind of floaty. It's not like totally grounded with gravity and physics, and it's still kind of an issue with AI video, but it's getting better. It's getting harder to tell the difference anymore. I'm gonna set his eyes back in his head a little bit farther. Might even set them back like an absurd amount because this is a caricature. Yeah, I think one of the things that's kind of soulless about the AI generated video right now is that the AI does so much of the work for you. Like, sure, you can give it a prompt and you can kind of tell it what you want, but it fills in so many details on its own, and it doesn't fill in those details exactly the way, a human art director would. I think eventually, like right now, it's kind of hard to art direct it and tell it exactly what you want and have it follow those instructions. But I think eventually it might end up being good enough to where it can really follow your instructions like you know, imagine like a director on a movie set saying, how things should be, and, talented crew following those directions. It's not there yet, but um, when it gets to that point, then if you have like a director with a real vision directing how things should look and get that fine-grained control over it, um, then we might see a situation where, the director's fingerprints have got on it enough to where it stops looking soulless. So that would be nice if we go down the direction where we want people making videos with AI. I think that the human spirit, like we have this creative human spirit, right? And we find ways to be creative no matter what our situation is. Even people in like, prison camps and stuff in really horrible situations find ways to be creative. And I think a new generation raised with AI might just have a new perspective on, what it means to be creative, and they apply their innate creative spirit to their new situation, and they find a way to make art with AI that's not soulless, and it might not even make sense, to people of my generation. Just like, a lot of art made by my generation doesn't make sense to people of my grandparents' generation. I mean, uh, I've tried and failed to get my grandmother to like understand uh, something like Rick and Morty, right? I mean, that just it's kind of impossible almost for most boomers to understand Rick and Morty, or even older, the greatest generation, right? My grandparents' generation, born in the 1920s and 30s. Like, they're not going to get Rick and Morty. And in 30, 40 years, there's going to be media made with AI that I'm just not going to get. I guess that's going to have to be okay. Um, Ryan, do a stream about Z scripts. Oh, that would be a boring stream, I tell you. Little did we know your streaming camera is all right now. Dun dun dun. I don't know what that means. I agree, Comics Legend. I think people are going to get bored of AI generated art over the next coming years, and and it's gonna kind of crash just like NFTs crashed. Thank goodness. Um, yeah, I hope there'll be a renaissance of like handmade art. And one thing I hope it crashes is like this whole like blue chip like art world, right? The stuff like Art Basel and like you know art that sells for millions of dollars, especially art that's like someone just scribbled a few paint strokes on a canvas and it looks like a kindergartner made it and it was just done in 10 minutes. Like that kind of art, like not I don't want to put that kind of art down, but I don't think that art is worth thousands of dollars. That's just me personally. I mean, art is it's worth whatever someone will pay for it, but I just don't see why that art should be rewarded with that kind of uh, value. And so maybe an outcome of this will be that that art is maybe devalued. Hopefully, I mean, I don't want to say like it has no value. I think any creative expression that anybody does, like that's their creative expression, and that's fine, and it shouldn't be like put down. I just don't think it's worth that much money, especially since anybody could make it. You were right, Dope Pope. That's actually exactly who it is. We held a little competition before you arrived, evidently, and the winner got a free copy of my plugin, Ryan's Tools. About time to put ears on this guy. What do you guys think? Hudson, are there AI tools on ZBrush? There are currently not any tools that I would call AI in ZBrush. It's interesting. They might be added at some point, kind of like in painting with 2D images, and you could just select a part of your mesh and be like, okay, make the anatomy more like defined and realistic in this area, and it would just do it. Um, Something like that might be interesting, but also it's kind of like scary because it's like, who needs to study anatomy anymore? But really, there's a connection between anatomy and stylization of anatomy and like the emotional content of a sculpture. And I wouldn't want to entirely relegate that decision making to an AI. I don't know if it can really do it yet the way we would want to do it. Oh yeah, Dope Pope. That's a great question. Yeah, we talked about this before you arrived, but yeah, it is still not figured out. I actually had a live call with the folks from Zbrush, and we talked about the issue, and they said that they're on the case. So hopefully it's not too much longer. Yeah, the generative fill in Photoshop can be very powerful, and it's definitely saved me a lot of time. Kind of filling in stuff for background. Um, I don't know what you call backplate images and stuff that doesn't have to be like, super finely crafted, but just you kind of need something in the background for a render or something. And it's definitely saved me a lot of time. Yeah, yeah, generating an alpha or VDM based on a prompt, or you just bring in a photo of some sort of scaly lizard, and you say make the arm of my character look like that, and it just does it. I think that stuff is coming, and it's really gonna make a lot of the existing tools in ZBrush kind of moot. Yeah, yeah. My latest version of Ryan's tools that isn't unfortunately available has an improvement to Decimation Master that works a lot faster. It's a lower quality result, but it's like almost instantaneous. And um, yeah, I'm just hoping that you guys can use that soon. If you guys want to kind of bug, if if there's any channels or emails or like chats or emails you guys could send to people who work at Pixelogic to tell them to fix the problem so that Ryan's tools can run. That might help speed things along. You know what I mean? Wink, wink. Oh yeah, that change just totally made a huge difference. What if Maxon bought Ryan's tools from me and integrated it into the latest version? Well, I would be open to that. Not that they've talked to me about it or anything, but I mean, obviously the price would have to be right. Um, And it might even be interesting to have kind of an ongoing relationship where I continue to develop new things and they buy them or pay me to like, regularly make things. It's definitely something I would be open to. I think I'm not a professional software developer. I'm just kind of a freelance, you know, almost a hobbyist software developer, right? I just made Ryan's tools because I wanted ZBrush to work better. And and then I was like, oh, I could sell this. There's definitely a lot of things that I've tried to do with Ryan's tools that just didn't pan out. Um, I just didn't either don't have the coding skills to figure it out, or it's just might not be possible to do with ZScript. Because it is limited what you can do and can't do in ZScript. You can only, work with what is available like on the surface, right? You can't like dig under the hood and change things under the hood in ZBrush. You can only use the features that are publicly available and then sort of rework, remix those or like find novel ways to use those features. So it is kind of limited what you can do with ZScript. Max tools. Yeah, I don't know. Like over the years, actually, a lot of the updates to ZBrush actually ended up doing things that were very similar to what Ryan's tools had already done at that point. I could tell that they had written them from scratch on their own, but the end result was kind of similar to what I had done. Um, so I know they weren't like stealing my code or anything, but and not that what I was had done was so difficult to do from a programming perspective. I'm sure somebody who was like a trained professional coder, could recreate pretty much anything I had done relatively easily, especially having access to the inner guts of the ZBrush code. Right, let's sculpt this hair. Hey Boise, are you from Boise, Idaho? Ah, Portugal. I hear Portugal is really nice. I I like well, I've never been to Southern Europe. I've been to Belgium and the Netherlands and Germany, but Portugal and Spain are kind of like the next places I'd be interested to travel to. So what's it like living there? Actually, I've heard you guys are kind of overrun with tourists and kind of sick of them at this point. How's that going? Do I have Twitch or do I do live on YouTube? Um, so this stream is I'm a little bit confused because I just sort of Pixelogic or I mean I guess Maxon now sort of gives me a, a stream code to log into and supposedly they handle like branching that stream to like I think Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, etc. I'm not exactly sure that I set it up totally correctly, and it's supposed to go to Twitch, but I don't know if it's actually on Twitch. I think it is on YouTube. Um, so that I'd actually be curious to find that out because I would like to kind of get that figured out better. Um, but it should be on Twitch. I don't personally have a Twitch. I do have my own personal YouTube. Um, okay. I do have my own personal art station. I also have a Twitter, but I really don't use it for anything but like retweeting when I post to ArtStation. Um, I have Instagram at Ryan Kittleson. ArtStation is, you just search my name, Ryan Kittleson. You'll find my ArtStation, YouTube, Instagram. Instagram is kind of more my personal art. ArtStation is more my professional art. So that's that brush I've been using on the hair is my own personal like creation. You get it as part of Ryan's Tools Pro. So let me just put a link in here. If you get the Pro version, you get a lot of cool brushes that I've made myself, like this hairbrush. There's also a little bit more of a clumpy organic hairbrush, like this one here. Kind of does a little bit thicker chunks of hair. Um, and then there's all kinds of cool stuff. There's a crease brush. It's kind of like the damn standard, but better. It has a cleaner, sharper effect. And I made it years before the damn standard was released. Little bit sore that they made damn standard part of the official release and not my brush, but that's okay. It's okay. The max standard. Why the max standard? I don't get it. Kit standard, yeah. I'd make a suit for this guy, but I've made so many suits over the years. Kind of don't feel like just making another one. So I'm getting pretty close to the end of my stream for today, but next week, 10 a.m. Pacific time, so basically the same time. I did get started a little late today because I had some technical glitches. Um, but next week, starting basically same time, same place, I'll keep going with this guy. I'll get some refined details, give him a suit. Probably just gonna do a bust on this one, not a full body. Um, I could do some painting of colors. Um, yeah, get the eye detail in there, pose the mouth a little bit, do some asymmetrical stuff here, and just get this guy looking really pretty. But that's for next time. I might even do some retopology maybe, get him ready for animation. Uh, but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the live stream for today, and I'll see you next week. Have a good one. Bye.